Yo, there's gonna be hella spoilers for Joker in this. That's why I'm bringing it out after, or at least the day the movie's released. Hey yo, what's going on my street people from YouTube and Instagram? Well, I'm on Instagram Pyro with the underscore at the end. Check that out. Lots of stuff on there behind the scenes and just memes, hella memes, all that good stuff. Before we jump into the video and what it's about, in case you can tell with the intro, like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Share with your family, everything, family, friends, enemies. Hit the notification bell because I do videos weekly. Anyway, now that we've gotten that business stuff out the goddamn way, Joker review and full of spoilers. Well, to be fair, there are spoilers, yes, and it's not just like gonna be a recap of the movie because I don't really like those things unless it's funny, and I'm not that kind of guy to make things funny. I'm just not. So I'm just gonna touch up on a few key scenes and try and not be super spoily, but it's gonna happen. But some of them do relate to the trailers, so it gives you an idea in terms of placement. But if you've seen the movie, you get it. So it's been a while since I've actually done a spoiler review. The last one was Dark Phoenix, and well, I didn't really care about that movie and if people saw it or not because that movie was trash. But anyway, this movie Joker, please, I want you guys to see it. It is absolutely amazing. But on to the spoiler review of this, or more likely just the key scenes that are spoilerific. So the reason why I chose these scenes is because they kind of stuck in my head, and well, it's been a while since I've seen the movie. It's probably been over a week as of the filming of this, give or take when I upload as well. So first up, we actually have something that happens near the opening of the movie, and one thing I will commend him for is the fact that he is running in these clown shoes. Joaquin Phoenix running in these is amazing, and as the character of Arthur Fleck, yo, he runs for ages. So this scene is just after, if you look at the trailer, when he loses the signboard that he's spinning around, he chases after them wearing these big ass clown shoes and keeps up with them in Gotham City, running through traffic and everything, and it's actually like a skill in itself, and that is amazing. So as for the scene itself, I mean, this really shows you where we are in the state of Gotham City in the early to mid 80s, I believe, or maybe late. It's in the 80s. It's in the 80s, and these kids are just out causing havoc, and poor Arthur Fleck just happens to be there. They knock it over. It really shows you what these kids are doing, and it puts you into the mode of, all right, cool, he's having a really bad day. And I think he has just left his psychiatrist, or it might be just before he goes to see the psychiatrist. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it just lets you know that he is on his way to just having a bad day and a bad week. It really lets you know that this guy, who at the moment we don't really know what's going on, but he's having a lot of little things that are going on that escalate as the movie does go on, definitely. A lot of little things that put him on the path of the Joker. And if you couple that with an abundance of mental health issues, he's just one straw away from breaking the camel's back. What's really and truly interesting about this is that he's laughing after he's just been beaten up by all of these kids. Again, these kids are douchebags for doing it, but he's laughing, and you're thinking, well, why is this guy laughing after he's just been beaten up? Is it because he's alive, or is there some other issue underlying? So speaking of his laughter, at another point in the movie, in the trailer, you'll see him talking with this little black kid on the bus, and his mom tells him to leave him alone. He leaves him alone, quiets down for a little moment, and then he just starts bursting out with laughter, just out of nowhere. He then hands the lady a card, because the bus is all like, yo, what the fuck is going on with this dude? What's going on? And it says, please forgive me for my laughter, and explains what the situation is. Now I'm gonna have to read this because I don't know how to say the word, but I have it copy and pasted. Pseudobulbar Effect? Pseudobulbar Effect is a condition that's characterized by episodes of sudden, uncontrollable, and inappropriate laughter or crying. So Joker clearly decides to laugh, or Arthur Fleck at this moment in time. Pseudobulbar effect typically occurs in people with certain neurological conditions or injuries which might affect the way the brain controls emotions. So that card lets us go, all right, okay, cool, we get what's going on, and it makes sense. Still, the bus is just all like, what's going on, because only this lady has read the letter. So I think what's really good about that is that it does let us as the audience know what's going on as of that moment, but the rest of the bus is just still awkward and tense and confused by this laughter because it continues until the scene ends. For me, this scene really shows that they're trying to get you to understand the Joker and feel where he's coming from as an individual person, that he's just got these issues and he can't help but do what he does. It's uncontrollable. So the laughter from when he gets beaten up, his mind isn't reacting the way it should, i.e. possibly crying or being upset. Outwardly so, we only see him laughing at these situations, putting on a happy smile, as it were. So again, with the laughter, it's very interesting that we do see this in the trailer at one part when he's leaving what is the clown store or resting area, whatever it is, where he's laughing, and then it just suddenly stops. This puts into question this laughter that he has. Is it really uncontrollable, or is he putting it on? I think what's really important to kind of note down is that when you look at the movie, if you have seen it, or if you're watching this video without, you know, watching the movie, well, sure, thank you, I guess. All of his murders are justified, or at least in a awkward manner of justification, they are. He didn't really kill a person that didn't really do him wrong in any way, shape, or form. They kind of brought it upon themselves in one way or another. As far as, I guess you could say, the audience is concerned, it does look that way. It doesn't make murder right though. Just gonna throw that out there. It doesn't, but as far as his weird justifications are, it makes sense. So the reason why the Joker actually gets fired from his job is because a gun falls out. So in the trailers you'll see, he's dancing around in the hospital, and the gun that was given to him by a gentleman that he works with, I say use the word gentleman, he's not. But he's dancing and then the gun falls out, which is a very, very funny and awkward scene for the audience. But even within the realm of the movie, it's awkward for everyone else because he's at a kid's party dancing and then a real gun falls out and he holds up and he's like, pretending like no one's gonna talk about it. Bro, you're in a hospital. Of course we're gonna talk about it to your boss. So after he's fired, he runs out, he gets onto a train. And you do see a bit of this in the trailer as well. He gets onto the train, and then there's these three guys on the train. Is the one that he does murder, yes. The reason why he murders them is not through any act of just randomness. He is attacked by them because he gets out into this burst of laughter uncontrollably in an awkward situation because these dudes were hitting on this woman. She wasn't feeling it at all, and they threw some popcorn at her saying he's talking to you, be nice. You know, this general predatory feel towards people that you get a lot of in world. And that happens, and he ends up laughing, and then she runs out. They for some reason start singing some clown song, like they're in West Side Story, and then they attack him. They literally attack him, take off his clown wig and everything, and start kicking him on the ground. Next thing you know, blow! Gunshots after gunshots after gunshot. Now this is the 80s, weapons were still a little bit slow, and I think it's a revolver type weapon. So it is slow, but it's so impactful in the scene, and it's so great because it's kind of going in between light and dark because they're on the underground station. Is it the underground station? I don't know. But it's really cool, and it works so well visually, just how it's done, because you see the people, but you really see it in the flash of the bang of the gun. So because these guys were attacking him, it made sense that he shot them in what is basically self-defense at that moment. He's only committed self-defense, really. Yeah, it's still murder though, definitely still murder. And then he does this weird artsy dance in the toilet, which I guess you could say is a transformation from Arthur into becoming the Joker, but it's still awkward, and I didn't really like it, but there's some kind of science towards it from what I've seen. And then if my memory serves me correct, he doesn't actually kill anyone again until near the end of the movie. The person that he does kill at this point, however, is the guy that gave him the gun in the first place. The reason why is because as he's being fired, he's told by his boss that the guy that gave him the gun said, hey, he wanted to buy a gun from me. So he's shifting blame. He's blaming it all on Arthur rather than saying, yeah, I gave him the gun. Even though he knew that he shouldn't have a gun, which Arthur tells me, say, it's okay. It's dangerous out there. The reason why he does give him the gun, to be fair, is because he just got jumped by those kids. And he's like, it's dangerous, have this as protection. So in the scene where Arthur, yes, murders the hell out of this guy, which is great, the guy knocks on the door because they are inquiring about clowns who murdered this guy because the guy had the face paint on, which is absolutely correct. That is what Arthur Fleck had on at the time. So he wants to know, what did Arthur Fleck tell the police? Now, before this happens, when the guy knocks on the door, he pulls out his scissors and walks to the door. And it's very awkward, and you know what's gonna happen, or at least you think you know what's gonna happen. He opens the door, questioning him, everything's all normal, and then blow, right in the eye and in the neck, and everything's going. It's just out of nowhere, blood splurting, and it's a great scene because you expect it, but you don't expect it the way it happens. And it's great, and he's just smashing his head on the wall. And when I say it's great, I don't mean like, yo, I love violence. I mean, I do, but not like that. But anyway, like that is what's going on, and it's great scene. Also, in this scene there's a little person. I don't know what they're actually called, but a little person in stature. Is that offensive? Anyway, we're gonna skip on by that. And he is just there and he's just like, yo, what the hell is going on? It's great because he has an English accent. It's just so cool. And note, Arthur had locked the door with the thing, the latch, I think it's known as. And yeah, he's just murdering the hell out of this dude. And this kid, well not kid, this little person was just always friendly to Arthur. And then Arthur's like, no, it's cool, like, it's fine, you can leave, whatever. After he literally just smashed this guy's face in it, it's just great. And then as he's walking by, he does a little rawr skip thing, and it's really cool. It's really great scene. And then after that, he walks by him and he goes, and then he tries to reach for the door, and then he's like, oh, you can't open it because the door is locked with the latch. And then the whole time you're just like, is he gonna kill him? What's going on? Yo, this is crazy. And he opens the door and he's like, yeah, go ahead, go. And then as the guy's about to walk out, he shuts the door and you're like, no, this guy didn't do anything, but it's fine because he's like, you know what? You were the only guy that was nice to me, and he lets him go. The guy ducks out the door so fast. It is amazing as fast as his little legs can take him, but it's great. And that is absolutely wonderful. All of this is literally in one day where he kills this guy and then he goes on the comedy show. So yes, that person's death was effectively justified as he caused him to lose his job, which put him further on this road to becoming the Joker. So later on after that, after he gets on the train, which again you see in the trailer, losing the police, where he falls back into the police with the mask and everything, he later on, the final person that he kills in this movie, himself, by himself, I mean that he does himself, because other people die because of him, but we'll get into that later. So really and truly, what happens with this is that he gets on the stage of the talk show eventually, and then he kills Robert De Niro's character, Frank, I think it is, I can't remember, the talk show host, because before that he makes fun of him by showing his comedy stand-up, which just wasn't funny, literally making the joke of the city at that moment in time. So has a big speech about things, which is a very intense scene, talking about how he's not political, but he sees a lot of stuff going on, which kind of contradiction and stuff like that, which is a great talk anyway. Opens up definitely some of the other stuff that we'll talk after this. And he shoots him in the head. But all these people that he has murdered in the movie, which is only what, 5 people, technically fair enough, 3 at one time, but they are all justified in a very awkward way. So what's interesting is that the 3 murders he has starts off the more political and social commentary of the movie, because it starts kind of this revolution, as it were, because the people that he does murders do work for Wayne Industries, and they are considered upstanding people, despite the fact they are douchebags that were hitting on this woman that didn't want to be there, and started to beat up on a defenseless, effective as far as they knew, defenseless person that was just on the train laughing. You'll notice as well that Joaquin Phoenix's, or Arthur Fleck's, voice fluctuates in the movie between tone and pitch, and it's just really interesting because you can see that, is it an act he's putting on, or is it because of the condition? And it's never really defined which is the case. Does he really have these issues, or is it all put on? Because you find out that his laughter, uncontrollable laughter, is something that his mom told him, but he doesn't actually have that. Maybe. Possibly. They scene at Arkham Hospital, which is great. The woman that plays his young mother, when you find out that he is adopted, she let her boyfriend of the time abuse Arthur and everything, which has caused most likely at least some of these issues, and it's just a great scene. She is just wonderful. And again, this, like with earlier, which I didn't actually mention, his psychiatrist, it's a missed shot to introduce Hugo Strange. He is a great character from the Batman mythos, and like I said in my other video, Easter eggs like this open up the world to the people who know the comics and have hope for further things. But yes, this doctor could have been Hugo Strange and it wasn't, but that is a great scene where the actress is she's just wonderful, and you just find out so much. And again, Arthur Fleck banging his head against the fence, which you see in the trailer, is great. And again, he runs, and he has this very awkward gait when he runs, like his legs just don't know what they're doing. There's also a scene in the movie where he's dancing after he gets the gun, and it's very, very interesting. It actually kind of reminds me of Silence of the Lambs, I believe it is, with the guy that's dancing very awkwardly in front of the camera, tucking in his schling schlong. But it's very, very interesting, and I thought it was really good. It wasn't artsy either, it was just hilarious, and you got the character, and ideally, if it is a reference to that, you got the reference. And finally, we have the character that Zazie Beetz plays. I liked it because the scenes with her are amazing, And the reason why I like that is because of the reveal that happens, because none of them actually happened except for one scene when you first meet her in the elevator and she's like making a joke with him, and then after that you see them on a date talking, and then at the hospital with his mother because she has a heart attack or something like that. But then you realize, because he ends up going to her house, and then she comes out and she's like, "You're Arthur, right? Blah blah blah." And it's like, she doesn't know who the hell he is. They weren't on any dates, and it was all in his head, and it's just crazy, and it's amazing, and I loved it. It was wonderful. It's just the reveal, because you look back at everything as a flashback, and like you see that scene with her there, but then she's not there, and the scene is a lot more colder. The brightness has been turned down, the contrast has been turned down, and it is just wonderful how it's done, because you see everything going by. Like, as you're realizing, you're like, yo, this is crazy, and she could just die right now, because she's like, my kid's in the room, can you leave? He does leave, but we don't know if he does kill her or not. I don't think we do, because we don't see any blood on him, but he could have, but it's left open slated, and that is wonderful. My issue with that though, the part that wasn't wonderful for me though, I got a bit worried because I thought they were race swapping, palette swapping for Harley, but they weren't. They weren't at all, because it seemed like she was crazy like him, because out of nowhere, she just ends up, he ends up going to her house and kissing her, and it's all normal, even though they only met like that day, or at least what it seemed like, or maybe like a week after and everything, and it was just awkward. But it wasn't, it's okay guys, it's not Harley, it's cool, we still have OG Harley out there somewhere. I mean, like, we do have Margot Robbie, which I do like, but yeah. Overall, I think what this movie does try and do is kind of paint the Joker, Arthur Fleck, with a tragic history, making him a tragic villain, rather than this just like anarchic, chaotic character that we know and love, which, don't get me wrong, I love for this story, but I do love just the craziness of the Joker that we've known to love and grow with. There are other stories where he's not crazy and it's great. Things like with Heath Ledger's Joker, Jack Nicholson's Joker, Cesar Romero's and everything. All the takes on the Joker, except for Jared Leto, I'm not a fan of that. I do like the aspects that they bring to it. And this one is a very, very grounded character study, like I said in my other video, and it's just really cool. With that being said, he is definitely very much the tragic villain, maybe even an anti-hero. He does become a symbol for the city, very much the same way that Batman does become a symbol for the city, but a very different symbol to Batman, and that is what's really cool, because he is the immovable object versus the unstoppable force in terms of symbols for this. So you've got Dark Knight symbol, and then you've also got the Joker symbol in these themselves, and it's just great. So I'll definitely be seeing this movie again. Guys, that's the end of this spoiler review. Like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends and family, hit the notification bell. Let me know what you guys actually thought of the movie now that it is out as of the posting of this video. Definitely let me know what you guys think. There's gonna be videos in this area. Hit that. Don't forget the notification bell. Guys, I still don't have a sign off yet, so peace.